Hey, welcome to another episode of the High Achieving Female Podcast, powered by No. This episode, we are talking to Sarah Baucom and Carrie Barker, partners and co-founders of Girl Tribe, an amazing brand based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. If you want scaling, you want inspiration stories, this is it. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to the High Achieving Female Podcast, powered by No, where we believe high achieving female leaders deserve to be known. Here, you're going to get the tips, tools, and inspiration you need to network, grow, scale, and balance your business, career, and life. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the High Achieving Female Podcast. I am so excited about today. I am with the founders, the partners of Girl Tribe. And if you are in the Southeast, you probably, or maybe in a sorority or any like well-knowing woman, you probably know who these women are. It's Girl Tribe. Carrie and Sarah, welcome today. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you. We're excited.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
I'm Sarah and that's Carrie.
Yeah.
But honestly, it doesn't matter.
It wasn't. We were matching earlier, but I changed just for this.
Sometimes we call her Carrie, Cherry, Larry, Mary, Perry, Harry.
Oh.
It depends. She's got different moods for every name. So
okay, well, we're definitely getting into that then. So I see like what you just did. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Girl Tribe. So the two of you founded Girl Tribe back in 2014. And it's so funny because I feel like I have known you all for a really long time. And I laughed when you said 2014 because it totally just aged us. But so you're based out of Charlotte. You created Girl Tribe as a way for women to connect with their creativity. I love this. You have done so much, and the umbrella of Girl Tribe, from apparel to design to storefronts and pop-up markets and building and fostering community with other creatives and other makers, has just been insanity. So you've hosted over 40 large scale events. You told me that you have like another 4 coming up just in the end, between now and the end of 2022. You have 3 brick and mortars. You have a staff of almost 50. Wow. Holy shit, ladies. Like, you're on fire.
That's why I'm so gray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then, okay, let's also like not fail to mention this part. Your moms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And wives. Okay. So not only are you like, not only are you like scaling wildly and like living the dream of what I think a lot of people really want to do in terms of scale, but you're also like juggling like laundry and kid drop off and pickup and probably dance lessons or something else like that. Right.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Sure. Yeah.
That is so funny. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Girl Tribe. Let's talk about, so you started in 2014. Like how did this start? What were you? Because what you are now is not really what you were when you started.
So that's true on the outside, but I think, it's funny. I interviewed Jenny Britton. Or just Jenny now. Jenny, she doesn't even have a last name anymore. She's like Oprah. But Jenny from Jenny's Ice Cream a couple of years ago when they opened their first Jenny store here. And I asked her the same thing. Did you know, is there anything that you ever knew? And she was like, I always knew this was me. And we were like, oh, same, like really. Wow. I mean, I think even just like growing up and becoming an adult, she's almost 40.
We'll be the same age for 1 month.
1 month, like our relationship. We knew we had something special together. We didn't exactly know what that was going to look like, what every single product was going to be, or anything like that. But we just knew that like, if we were just able to be together, then we would create something really cool. And so yeah, there was like nothing out there, but we thought we were really cool. We were like, this is cool. Like, whoa, like she compliments my strengths and weaknesses and vice versa. So when we got together, so we went to middle school and high school together. We weren't friends. We got back together and we met up because I had just finished a second degree in interior design and Carrie was a commercial architect. And so I was like, hey, like, will you meet me for coffee? I don't know any other female architects and I'm looking for a job. We sat at a Starbucks for like 8 hours chatted.
Mhm.
And at the end of it, I was like, oh, I actually don't want to be an interior designer. I had just gone back to school.
Mhm.
I had a job like lined up. I didn't want to do it. And she was like, I don't really want to be an architect anymore either.
Mhm.
She was like, I want to be a graphic designer. And I was like, well, I want to sell clothes. So I started my own brand and she started her own graphic design company. So that was in 2012.
Mhm. Yep.
And so we had separate brands. And then in 2014, we basically took what we had learned from those and made a separate company. And that's Girl Tribe.
Yep.
I love that. That's so interesting. So you're both solopreneurs on your own accord, and then you come together to form this partnership. And then did you take the two businesses? Like I know what Girl Tribe is now, and I want to, for the listeners, kind of paint a picture of this, but did you take your two businesses and merge them under Girl Tribe immediately, or you created a new separate business?
Yeah. So we created a new business, and I think we always knew we were going to lead brand first. Like whatever we sold, it was about the brand, and it's always about kind of leading with women first and them finding a place that they didn't have. So we came together. I had Pink Toast, which was a graphic design company. Sarah had Social Dress Shop, which was an online dress store. And we're like, well, let's take half of the names. And we originally started as Pink Social because we thought we were like very cute and smart.
Like when you're in 8th grade and you're like, everyone's going to have one letter of their name. And we're like the Three Musketeers. It was like that sort of. But yeah, so then the reason that we started Girl Tribe was because we wanted to create a product. Like that was really, we were like, okay, let's create a product. Like, we had this like motto, we had this like female empowerment because we wanted to be empowered because quite frankly, we weren't feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And, this is post like recession. So traditionally, a lot of these kind of creative jobs don't even exist in North Carolina anyway. And if there was a fun job, it had been wiped out.
Right,
there were no like fun, cool jobs that you like saw on like rom-coms and stuff. So I think we sort of grew up on that. And so we're like, okay, well, let's start this company. Well, great. We both put like $100 in because we had no money. Like, so that's the only investment we've ever taken. So we built this company on $200 and it never occurred to us that we needed money. We were just like, we don't need money. We never occurred to us we needed money.
How fun is that? Okay. So $200 in a dream, $200 in a dream.
Yeah.
What was your first like product or service? What was your first offering like to market? Like what was the first thing Girl Tribe did?
So we created, with that money, we created 4 different t-shirts, and they were really terrible. So if anyone has them, I'm sorry. And we sold out of them. And I think we had like 48 shirts altogether or something. And they had like a kissy face on them. They said like Taylor Swift, like shake it off and just come out. I mean, it was like, just like playing around with this idea of like words on these graphics. And what we did next year was we just kept putting money back in the company when we could. She was still, she just had her, no, I'm sorry. She still had her other company. I was still working full time. Actually, I was in construction at the time. I had given up my other business because it just didn't serve me anymore. And then we started building the Facebook group, the Girl Tribe Facebook group. And that was really just because we were figuring things out on our own. We said, hey, like, how do you start an LLC? What is an EIN? Like all those kind of questions. If we have them, most likely other women have them. So we just wanted a really like clean, wholehearted place where women could truly support each other, because in our head, there's no such thing as competition. Like rising tides genuinely lift all boats. And that's really where the idea of Girl Tribe pop-up came in. So we were the first people to first pop-up scene to allow non-makers and non-artists to be a part of the pop-up. So we started Girl Tribe pop-up in 2015. And that's because we had nowhere to go. So like a lot of our stories, like we had to just find and carve out a place for ourselves. Yeah. And, it was really tough, that first pop-up, to convince women traditionally, like in sort of a multi-vendor retail market, that you're going to be popped up right next to your competitor and you guys sell similar things, but it's going to be okay. And it's so funny that we thought that, because we had just like no experience that it would be, but we just like truly believed that it would. And it is. I mean, it's,
it's
if we were
facts.
scientists, 100% facts, but yeah, so then we finished that market and we were like, oh, that was ridiculous. Oh man, that was so much work. And it was just us too.
Mhm, yeah.
Carrie was like 34 weeks pregnant.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, oh, that was cool. And then people started coming up to us and said, when's the next one? And I was like, shh. So that's how Girl Tribe Pop-Up was created. And Girl Tribe growing that next when we started doing game day gear.
My goodness. So what I'm seeing is like, you're both very visionary, and what you're doing is you're finding this need, you're seeing this need, and then you're building a solution around it. I mean, literally what's happening. Right. And how cool is that? So I am familiar with the pop-ups in Charlotte, and I can only imagine those like first initial conversations where you're like, yeah, you and you who are competitors, we're going to play nice in the same space. We're going to blow this up. Let's talk a little bit about like the marketing. Like how did people like hear about these pop-ups, start attending these pop-ups? I mean, they're very well attended. And I feel like you've really cornered the market in the Southeast, and there's not a lot of people who can do this, right? So like, go back to 2015, the marketing of how you started this.
Well, we had the Facebook group, which was great.
Yeah.
So we had a couple of thousand people in the Facebook group, and they were really jazzed about it. And one thing that we've always done with our pop-ups is the idea is like, I want your customer to come and support you, but also to support the other businesses. So really encouraging our vendors to get the word out, and then we can kind of share customers. And so we really heavily relied on word of mouth. Again, we had absolutely no money. There's no ad spend. I mean, we barely even had a photo booth. We got some like crepe tissue paper and like taped it to like the wall. And people were like, this is awesome. Cause Charlotte had just never seen it.
Yeah. They've never seen a photo. Yeah.
And, cause we're so far behind kind of big cities in that way. So anyway, that was,
well, we had done the math. And so I think we had 70 vendors that we had like somehow obtained. And we're like, okay, if they can at least bring 5 people, like we did this math, we're like, they're going to bring 5 people. And that means they're going to be X amount of people.
Can't do that math.
Yeah. We're not going to, you don't want to see me do math. I need a calculator. It'll be a good show. And then we show up the next morning, and yes, we had the Facebook group that was really working for us and growing at a very exponential rate, because obviously women wanted to connect with women about business. Like there was such a need for that we just kind of fell into because we needed it. We showed up the next day and there was a line wrapped around the building. We're like, oh, I guess 5 people of every vendor showed up.
People were like, does it cost money to come in? We're like, yeah, $5. And they were like, cool. And we were like, oh.
I love this because I've attended these, and I have to say there is definitely a whole vibe, and you are really like, the things that you've done and you've been doing in business are really like ahead of, right? You're like pioneering a lot of this, and you've really pioneered a lot of the like women supporting women movement, the women empowerment movement, especially in the Charlotte area. So it's been so cool to kind of see how it's unfolded. And just an FYI, I still do math like that. I'm like, okay, I need this many people are there. If each speaker brings 3 and each ambassador brings this times this, and it'll fill, and it does, right? Like, so,
yeah.
So funny that you said that, because I still do. That's exactly how I do my math. So anyone listening, if you want to know how to fill a room, now you know.
That's
get each friend to bring 3 friends.
It's a very grassroots, but like that's the way to do it.
It was almost kind of like before we knew about it, lookalike audiences. I mean, it literally is, right? Like you're like, oh, you're about the same, you're about this, like, demographic.
Exactly. Well, and it's like-minded people hang together, and you want like more of those people. So that's so great. So talk to us a little bit about so you had these designs, you built this pop-up shop basically around yourself and the desire and need to promote your things, but also others. And then you opened a freaking brick and mortar. How did that happen? This week's episode of the High Achieving Female Podcast is brought to you by the No Global Membership. It's time. Get in the room to network with women you want and need to know. Link to join the membership is in the show notes below. And don't forget, you can also claim your freebie today.
kind of by accident, not by accident. I think a lot of our stories, like putting the vibes out there, and then like, I always say, you never know what's going to happen in the morning. You never know who's going to call you. So in 2017, this girl she's a director of leasing. She had this newly acquired spot in South End, and she called us and she was like, hey, can I get a meeting? I want to talk to you guys about a pop-up. And back in the day, people would call us about pop-ups all the time. Oh, have a pop-up in my pizza shop, have a pop-up. And like, no, that's not how it works. Like, thank you. Like, no, we need to do it big, like, whatever. So I was like, one of the meetings, I was like, oh gosh, whatever. And at this point, I'm like 6 weeks pregnant, 7 weeks pregnant with my second. And so I'm feeling sick. And she's like, okay, I have a storefront for you and to do a pop-up in. And we're like, and I was like, no, I'm not opening a store right now. I'm pregnant. And anyways, that didn't last. So within a month, we got the keys, and in 10 days later, we opened our first store. So that's how it happened. Again, no money. Yeah. So maybe we had like 4 IKEA tables in there, and the dressing room was the bathroom. I mean, like, it was like, we have clawed our way here. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like we keep asking if there's trust funds, but apparently there are not.
Like, I knew how to cricket things. So we're like cricketing the vinyl.
Yeah,
that
we
went on
cut
the door.
all of our own vinyl. We painted the walls. We installed the hardware. I mean, we did everything.
Yeah. Within like 5 days.
Within
and then
5 days.
And then fully merchandise the entire thing. Probably within 2 weeks, because we were able to we have retail experts. That was kind of like our first very good business, like intentional, very good business decision. We had talked to other boutiques. They're like, you have to get these retail experts they're going to help you buy.
So they do our budgeting. Yeah. We still use the same company.
Yeah. And so they helped us with merchandising it. And then kind of the other thing that really helped us through that first season was we kind of called back to our pop-up vendors, because it
just didn't have enough inventory. Yeah, we didn't. The store. Yeah.
And so kind of combining those ideas of pop-ups and then bringing them into the store and letting people have that experience of like shopping a women-owned business, like whether it was us or someone in Charlotte or someone across the country.
Yeah, that's so cool, because you truly have never been someone who sees competition, right? And I think that shows in every action and every step that you've taken. And I think what's really cool is that you've been able to like leverage the brand, right? Your personal brand, your connections, the community, right? A lot of the things that you have done that have created wild success in my mind, right? What I would say wild success is what you hear all of the people talking about these days. Build community, leverage your community. Don't feel like you have to know everything before you launch, right? Yeah. It's a little messy. It's fine. Throw it out there and see what happens, and then refine, right? Right. Bootstrapping, not being afraid to get your feet wet or your hands dirty or filled with paint, right? And then like going into not only leveraging your community and going into your community, like for purchase and for clients and for like people to attend, but also for expert knowledge and know-how. Like you're leveraging your community to bring them into your store to experience what you're providing, but you're also leveraging your community to like help you, right? Like how cool is that? So let's talk about what you've got going on now. So you've got a lot of things happening. I saw that you have a mobile boutique.
Yeah, we did do that.
That was impulsive. Yeah, that was an impulsive purchase. Yeah.
So what's happening next? Like, how are you finishing this year? This is season 2. This season is taking us through the end of 2022. So how are you finishing this year at Girl Tribe?
It was in March. In March, we opened our second like real full store in Huntersville, and it's a 10,000 square foot store. Wow. And that's called Girl Supply. So it's like a completely different model.
A new business, because we like to create. It's a completely new
business, a whole other, And it's 10,000 square feet. And so we've got photo moments in there. There's a bar. And then we have our own 1,800 square feet in there. And then we also represent 20 something other women-owned brands in there. And it's really founder focused. It's kind of on that consignment model a little bit, but kind of a little bit more elevated and eloquent consignment model. And we have a great staff up there. There's a DIY workshop. I mean, there's a lot to do in that space. So our plan, and that has been a really big success. So our plan right now is that we're kind of planning to open store number 2. I don't have any detail. I'm not hiding anything. That's what I'm working on.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Okay.
And then we're about to open another Girl Tribe store, and that'll be in South Park area. And we get the keys September 1. So we're really hoping to open by October 1 because we know we can do it.
Right.
So it's just a matter of like, yes. And so we bought a camper van in like, I don't know, June or July. A girl that we had known that had done our pop-ups before. We always loved her camper, and she was selling it. And I think we bought it within like 3 hours of her posting it. We just like handed her a check, and she taught us how to like hitch a thing to
in 5 minutes.
And so, but then we bought this camper, and we were like, oh my God, we have nothing to tow it with. So then we had to buy an F-150 to tow the camper. And so that makes it that we own 4 vehicles together, because we have 2 vans that drive around Charlotte, like, you know, picking up stuff from production to the stores, whatever. And now we have a truck and a camper. So the camper, we just hired someone kind of full time for. And so her job will be find events and do that. And then, you know, hopefully open a successful South Park store for the rest of the year. Yeah. Launch a couple more big campaigns and product launch the season, more game day, holiday. Wholesale has been really big for us. We've been doing a lot of wholesale and just kind of planning to continue to grow our team in the most efficient and there's probably another word for it, smoothest transitions. Because when you go from core 4 or 5 people to 50 people, how do you keep the same culture? You can't. And we're clearly not experts on that. So right now, a lot of what Carrie and I do day to day is like meeting with people. Role redefining, that kind of stuff. So
putting processes in place, you know, like a year, like I would say 6 months ago, our company was completely different. And, you know, I think like who's ever listening, I think a huge catalyst for us was, you know, we had been in business. We survived 2020. We did literally everything we could possibly think of.
Still exhausted from 2020.
To make it work. We figured it out. We honestly excelled in that environment because like we're crazy and we like chaos a lot. So much. It's
just
bad.
Fire all the time.
It's bad. But I think like we were so risk averse. So we were set up really well for all of that to kind of like happen.
We had a lot of cash in the beginning of 2020,
but
which was really nice.
What it also allowed us is like, we kept growing, we kept putting cash in the bank. We kept putting cash in the bank, you know, like I think we're going to hit year 8 this year. That's good math. Yes, it is. Cause 2014.
You got it. No, I was just going to let you go with it.
And now we're finally, after 8 years, comfortable with taking risk. And so that's why we've seen this huge growth spurt. Like, we know what we're doing. We know we have a clear vision. We know exactly who we are and where we want to go. And so now we're ready to like really kind of go for it. And not that we weren't going to for, but we were super slow grow, you know.
We were really slow grow. Because we did have like kind of fear that people probably didn't see. But then once COVID hit, we realized that we were like, okay, what are we not getting any? How older people we're gonna be where people can like we're still setting up pop-ups, you know, like we gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Cause the first few are fun, but then it's the drag sesh after that. Right.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. It's a lot of spending.
Okay. Wow. There's so much that we could just keep talking about. Like, I love the 2 of you. Your stories are so amazing. And we've just literally cracked the surface. So 2 questions for you, just to help people understand the magnitude in which you're operating. Like I asked you ahead if I could ask you this question. Year 1, where were you in terms of like revenue? And then your highest performing year, no matter what it was, like where have you scaled to in terms of revenue?
Like not counting this year, because we can really go so many ways this year. Our first full year, we had $10,000 in our pocket at the end of the year, and that's all we made because we didn't take anything out of the business. So we made $10,000. And then like hitting $4 million, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. So for everyone who's listening, like scale is possible, but you have to be extremely strategic. And what I want to do is I want to have you both come back and I want to dig in. So this is kind of like storytelling a little bit of like the background of how Girl Tribe was formed. But I feel like there's another podcast episode where we really need to dig into some of the strategy and some of the mindset and sort of like how and when and risk, because as entrepreneurs, we do take risks, but they have to be calculated. And I would love to get inside of your brains, especially as partners, because partnerships are a very interesting dynamic, right? And the fact that you've made yours last for so long it is odd. And it is applaudable, right? Like how amazing is that? So,
she just deals with me. That's the answer.
No, we have a therapist.
We do have a therapist. Yeah.
And maybe that's the route that many need to like jump on that boat. But so tell us how we can follow you, how we can be acquainted with you, how we can purchase from you, all of that.
Awesome. Yeah. So all of our social handles for Girl Tribe are at Girl Tribe Co. So it's Girl Tribe Co. And it's girltribeco.com. Our Girl Supply Instagram is girl.supply. And then we also at Shop Girl Tribe Pop-Up. So we have 3 main Instagrams because they're very different businesses. Mm-hmm. So they have different voices and different messages. And I don't know. Ask me tomorrow.
Great.
What was the question? Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Perfect.
Amazing. You're like, what day is it? And I
always, every day.
I love that. It's been so much fun chatting with you. And I cannot wait to like continue to see you grow like amazing, wildly successful. I know you have a lot of fans out there and a lot of big supporters. And you, like I said before, you are really pioneering like so much in this, like girl supporting girl, women empowerment, and just all of the things of like the collaboration and celebration. So thank you for that. And I'm so excited to see what's next. So I know I will be watching and probably our listeners too.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the High Achieving Female Podcast powered by No, where we believe it's time for high achieving women like you to be seen, heard, and recognized. Until next time, remember, you deserve to be known.